16.5% of American women are now choosing to stay single. Every man you listen to is calling these women broken. Every one of them is wrong. A strike is what a rational actor does when the current terms of a deal have become unacceptable. It is not an attack, it is a refusal. The emotionally unavailable, phone-saturated, presence absent, man who cannot hold space, cannot regulate, she is not wrong to refuse him. The question is whether you are him. 4B is not a crisis for masculinity. It is a pressure, and pressure for the man who understands how to use it is the best thing to happen to masculinity in 50 years. 16.5% of American women are now choosing to stay single, nearly double the rate for men. A movement called 4B has told women to reject dating, sex, marriage, and children with men entirely. It just went global. Every man you listen to is calling these women broken. Every one of them is wrong. 4B is a strike. And I am going to tell you exactly what men did to create it. I'm 𝐯𝐬𝐲𝐬𝐿. I'm based out of Melbourne, and I've worked decades with high net worth clients, and I realized that the ancient wisdom that was given to us humans thousands of years ago has been completely forgotten, and that relates to the modern misery almost directly. And being a masculine myself, I realize what is the position of feminine, and I work to restore her, be that forest or be that woman's body. I'm here to serve. Let's move on. Let me give you the full picture. According to 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬 Institute data from 2025, 16.5% of adult American women now choose to remain single compared to 9% of men, a gap that has nearly doubled in a decade. In Europe, 41% of women aged 25 to 34 now live without a partner, twice the rate of 50 years ago. The 4B movement started in South Korea around 2017 to 2019. 4 rejections: no dating, no sex, no marriage, no children with men. After the 2024 US election, searches for 4B movement spiked dramatically in America. The hashtags collected tens of millions of TikTok views in the weeks that followed. This is not a fringe movement. These are the numbers of mainstream shift. And I want to be honest about what I am not going to do in this video. I'm not going to tell you these women are broken. I'm not going to tell you they will fail and come crawling back. That is what every man in my demographic is saying. And it is making them sound like exactly the kind of man 4B was designed to refuse. I'm going to do the harder thing. I'm going to tell you why the strike is rational. A strike is what a rational actor does when the current terms of a deal have become unacceptable. It is not an attack, it is a refusal. And every major labor movement in history started the same way. Not with hatred for the employer, with the recognition that the current conditions were no longer acceptable and that continuing under them was costing more than it was retaining. 4B is that recognition applied to the terms of heterosexual relationships in the modern West. The conditions that produced 4B are specific. They are not about men as a category. They are about what the modern man has stopped offering the modern woman. And what the modern woman has calculated correctly, she is better off without. Until you name what stopped being offered, you cannot understand the strike and you cannot end it. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact kind of man that 4B is not designed to reject. The man woman will actively choose over the movement. Not because she has to, because the offer is genuinely better than opting out. But first, you have to understand why the current version of the offer has made the strike rational. Because until you see the collapse clearly, the rebuild makes no sense. Historically, a man entering a relationship brought 4 things to the exchange. Physical containment, the sense that she is physically safer with him in the world than without him. Economic partnership, the ability to build something together that neither could build alone. Ritual and social significance. He gave her a context in the world, a family, a community, a position that was built on something real. And devoted presence. He was actually there, fully, attentively for her. Now walk through each one. Physical containment. Most young men in 2026 have not trained their body in any serious or sustained way. The physical ground is not there. Economic partnership. The modern woman is often out earning or equally earning the man beside her. The economic case for the partnership is weaker than any point in history. Ritual significance. The structures that gave marriage a story bigger than 2 people, religious community, extended family, cultural ritual, have largely collapsed. Marriage now sits without a frame and devoted presence. This is the one that is killing it. The man who comes home and opens his phone before he opens his mouth, who is physically in the room and entirely absent from it, who has outsourced his inner life to a screen and has nothing left when she needs him to actually be there. This is the specific modern male failure mode that 4B is refusing. Not men as a species, this men, the emotionally unavailable, phone-saturated, presence-absent, men who cannot hold space, cannot regulate his own nervous system, and cannot offer the containment a woman needs to feel safe enough to be herself. She is not wrong to refuse him. The question is whether you are him. If you are a woman watching this and 4B made sense to you at some point, write one word in the comment: seen. I'm not going to argue with you. I want you to know I heard it. Now, here is what none of the men commenting on 4B will tell you. The movement has a specific target, and it is not all men. It is the man who cannot show up for himself and therefore cannot show up for her. The man who has rebuilt himself, who has his body in order, his mind precise, his emotional world sovereign, his presence real, not performed, that man is not who 4B is rejecting. That man is precisely who 4B is waiting for. And here is the part that will land. The men who are most afraid of 4B are afraid because they are the men 4B was designed to filter out. See the logic there? The men who are doing the work, who are rebuilding their physical presence, their emotional sovereignty, their capacity to hold space, those men have nothing to fear from 4B. 4B will filter out the men who were never going to offer anything real. And the men who are building something real will find the women who were waiting for exactly that. 4B is not a crisis for masculinity. It is a pressure, and pressure for the man who understands how to use it is the best thing to happen to masculinity in 50 years. Because it names for the first time with full clarity exactly what the rebuilt man looks like. Not dominant, not aggressive, not performing, sovereign, present, and full. The kind of man a woman would choose over opting out. Not because she has to, but because the offer is genuinely better than the alternative. And here is what nobody in this conversation is telling men. The rebuild does not start with what you offer her. It starts with what you offer yourself. A man who has not done the internal work, who has not confronted his ego, who has not built his emotional sovereignty, who is still measuring his worth by whether she approves of him or not, cannot be the ground she needs. Not because he lacks talent or intelligence, because the ground requires being unshakable, and you cannot be unshakable when your inner state depends on her response to you. The work is internal first, always. The man who has done that work walks into a room wanting nothing from it. He is already full, and a woman's nervous system, which is constantly reading for safety, for ground and the genuine presence, feels that fullness before he speaks a word. She is not choosing him because she has to. She is choosing him because he is the offer that 4B was always waiting to find. 4B did not come from hatred. It came from exhaustion. From a generation of women who got tired of a specific kind of men, not men, a specific kind. The kind who is present in the room and absent in every way that matters. The kind who has outsourced his inner life and then wonders why she cannot land on him. The kind who wants her to be there but is not sure how to be there himself. That men can change. Not to win the argument against 4B, not to prove the movement wrong, but because the rebuilt version of himself is worth more to him. And the version that made the strike necessary. The 4B women are not your enemy. They are quality filter. And a filter that removes what was not working is not a punishment. It is a clarification. It is telling you with unusual precision exactly what the rebuilt man looks like. Sovereign inside, present outside. Full enough to give without needing to take. That man has existed in every era and every culture. He is rare, he is buildable, and the world, including the 16.5% of women who have currently opted out of it, is waiting for more of him. Share this with one person, man or woman, who has been trying to talk about this without being allowed to. The conversation has been hijacked by both sides. This video returns it to the middle, where it belongs, the internal rebuild. The ego drop, the emotional sovereignty, the work of becoming full from the inside is inside module 4 of the Code of Living. Link in the description. This is not advice, this is the code. See you at sunrise.